So yesterday I received an email saying, "Hello Fabio, since you focus heavily on technical topics and game modifications, we'd like to share our current experimental project with you. The project explores frame generation as a controllable rendering pipeline rather than a black box and includes multi-frame generation 3x and 4x built on top of FSR 3.1 frame generation. So we have FSR 3.1 multi-frame generation, context-aware prevention of interpolation artifacts, not post-filtering. It means that they actually solve the artifacts before going into the frame generation pipeline, something like that. Then we have special handling of semi-transparent HUD elements, and then adaptive frame generation and runtime upscaler switching. The project is completely free and intended to be accessible to everyone. Free! At the moment it works reliably on Nvidia GPUs with no installation issues, even though it makes no sense to work with Nvidia GPUs, because why use a mod when you have the real thing? But well, support for AMD and Intel GPUs is still being actively investigated and refined, but should work too, and yes, it works. Firstly, what you want to do is go to Nexus mod, because this is where the DLSS enabler is. And then all you have to do is go to the files, and then you have several options to the installer. You have, for example, the 3.03 beta installer, which has the newer OptiScaler and so on, but it doesn't really work. I tried it, and at least for the games that I tried it doesn't work. So what you want to do is download this one, the DLSS enabler the DLSS enabler 3.02, which is the one that I have here on the desktop, and then download here the update files of the DLSS enabler 4.0.0.4 tech preview. And again, this is a technical preview. It has lots of issues, but generally it can work, and it does. Like today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Nvme, where you can get PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo games, and the list goes on. You can even search directly for super cheap games that are still awesome, like Detroit Become Human, and if you're into the thrill of the adventure, you can get random Steam keys that might get you really awesome games like Hollow Knight or Resident Evil Village, all with cashback included. And you can also get gift cards for Roblox, League of Legends, Valorant, and many other games. Use my discount codes in the description for 8% off and enjoy your games at even lower prices. After downloading the files, you have these two with the DLSS enabler installer and the DLSS enabler 4.0.0.4. And first of all, you need to know where's the folder for your game. In this case, I'm gonna try with Cyberpunk 2077, so I know that I have the game on the game's SSD, then GOG, Cyberpunk 2077, and here's the folder. And you want to install the mod the same way that you install OptiScaler, because the mod will also bring OptiScaler included. Then you go to the bin, x64, and here you have the folder. I even have something already installed, so I will uninstall it for you to see how it actually works. So I go to the DLSS enabler, I do accept the agreement, next, then I go to browse, I select the games folder, in this case again games SSD, GOG, Cyberpunk 2077, bin, x64, and OK. You press next, and now one of the things that I tested is that even though the optimal compatibility of the version.dll file, in some games it doesn't work properly. So I do advise you, at least for Cyberpunk 2077, to install as winmm.dll, and then since I'm using an AMD card, I need to enable support for AMD and Intel GPUs, which is a no-go if you're using an Nvidia GPU. But again, this mod makes no sense for Nvidia GPUs, at least in my point of view. Next, installed, and then finish. With this you have installed the DLSS enabler 3, but you really want the DLSS enabler 4. So you go, you open the zip file of the DLSS enabler 4, you copy it to the desktop, and remember that we select WinMM instead of version, so we need to change the name to WinMM as well, and then copy it here and replace. Now this should be the way that it works, which it takes way more steps than it should, but it isn't that hard, to be honest. But it doesn't really work like that out of the box, because as soon as I run the game, I'll show you, Cyberpunk 2077, we have a conflicting file. So you need to go search for the XGI, the xgi.dll. In this case, of course, you just delete the file, and then you go into Cyberpunk 2077 again. And by the way, Cyberpunk 2077 has flatline. This happens a lot, believe me, this happens a lot. So you have to try several times till you're actually able to go into the game, which is, yeah, experimental for a reason. And by the way, in case it just doesn't work at all, you can just go here with disable NVIDIA signature checks. You just go yes, and then go to the DLSS finder, and then you're good to go one more time. Let's see if it works now. And it seems that after 5 million tries, I'm able to load the... Yeah, not yet. To be honest, the developers told me that the 26.1.1 drivers have some issues and that I should be using 25.12.1, so that might be it. And well, it seems that after 5 million and 10 times, I'm finally able to go into the game. And as you can see, you have two key combinations. I can press insert, and it opens OptiScaler because OptiScaler is integrated. And by the way, after doing that process, if the multi-frame generation option doesn't really show, you need to go to the frame generation option here with OptiScaler. Again, you press insert and then select FSR FG via NUCOM's DLSS G. This is how it works. So this is the first step, and then there is another key combination that I will show you here on the display, because I have a Portuguese keyboard and the keys are different, so I don't really know how it works. But it will show you this new menu with adaptive frame generation, VSync, FPS limit, screen space, ray tracing, and so on. So you have lots of options like the status bar. This bar here that you're seeing is because I enabled the status bar, which is already a nice thing. You can see the FPS and the frame generation output that you're doing. And for example, if you're doing like screen space, ray tracing, yeah, that can be an option as well. It can work, which is great. Screen space, ray tracing, high, as you can see. Look at how the graphics immediately change, and the FPS aren't really affected. We have 141, 142. We enable the ray tracing. It looks much better. For example, if you look at the car, it looks much better already, and we have a small FPS drop. Again, one more time. No ray tracing, ray tracing. The occlusion and the lighting and the shadows is just much more, but especially the occlusion, which is a big plus, and we can just enable it on top of the frame generation or the ray tracing that we already have. And this is really cool if I'm being honest, because I'm using those options. If you go to the video options, you can see 4K with the DLSS Super Resolution balanced mode, and I'm using the DLSS Super Resolution, but again, it is just the DLSS Super Resolution inputs. The game is actually using FSR. In this case, I can go lower to performance mode, I guess, and as you can see, the DLSS multi-frame generation and ray tracing enabled. And even with the game's ray tracing enabled, yeah, I mean, the option that we have here in terms of ray tracing just looks much better, especially when it comes to occlusion. It is just such a big difference here. The occlusion is just insane, and the FPS drop isn't that big, to be honest. Even if I go here and I disable the ray tracing option here, I can just go and disable the ray tracing option inside the game, as you can see. Then I go to the DLSS enabler and I enable the option, and it still looks much better. The FPS are still high, and it looks much better than the normal game, to be honest. Especially on the floor and so on. It is a major improvement, if you ask me, especially for people that want a better looking image without having the performance drop of, in this case, ray tracing. And yeah, if we're talking about the quality, well, don't really expect a huge quality, because as soon as you start using the DLSS or multi-frame generation 4 times, yeah, this happens. For example, look at the wheels. Yeah, we have lots of motion artifacts because, of course, it's 4 times, and if the DLSS is using machine learning and still has some issues, imagine FSR algorithm not using machine learning and trying 4 times. It is even worse than using lossless scaling, which, to be honest, is a decent option in most games. So yeah, you can use it. It has some issues, but it works. Now, as for the 3 times frame generation, you might ask, well, but I don't really need 4 times, so I can use 3 times frame generation. Well, you can. You just go to 3 times. But somehow the 3 times frame generation, maybe because it is an odd number instead of a pair, sometimes when I'm moving the camera around, it kind of tends to have some stutters, especially when using ray tracing. Now, since I'm not using ray tracing, only the ray tracing from the DLSS enabler, as you can see, it is working pretty smooth. And 3 times, working pretty smooth, but usually as soon as I enable the option to go with the in-game ray tracing, it will stutter. But yeah, in terms of the wheels artifacts, it is already much better. Not near as bad as the 4x was. The use of this mod for daily usage, well, I guess that's up to you. Do I advise it? Not really. Another awesome thing here is that since we're using OptiScaler, we can just select Insert and then have the option to use FSR 4.0.2. If you have the DLL file, the int8 version of FSR 4, you can use FSR 4 alongside this mod with the RX 7000 and 6000 series, which is really great. And I mean, remember what I told you about the screen space ray tracing, which is great. Look at the difference here. For example, look at the walls, look at the ground. The difference is just insane. And we go from 197 to, let me see, 177, which is a small difference. And look, for example, here we have reflections here. We have way better ambient occlusion. I mean, it's just a win-win. A big win-win. It's kind of a small touch, but just looks so much better. So we have better quality and we have FSR multi-frame generation for even older AMD cards. Is it perfect? Not really, but it definitely works. And well guys, I guess that's all for this video. For this video I only really tested Cyberpunk 2077, I tested some other games, I tested Titan Quest 2, it worked to some extent, it had some issues here and there, but it worked. There are some games that didn't work at all, I tried it, they just didn't work, but Cyberpunk 2077 worked via this method that I showed you. So if you want to test it yourself and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you were able to make the DLSS frame generation, or in this case FSR multi-frame generation, work on your card or not. And by the way, we also have adaptive frame generation, which is one of the things that I can't actually make it work. The FPS limit will work, so if I go with the FPS limit, as you can see, the FPS goes down to 136, which works decently to me. I have no issues there. I don't really know if the frame pacing is good, but yeah. I'm looking at it and the frame pacing is actually very nice. And since we are not pushing the maximum frames, the latency is actually reduced, which is great in my book. It's a win-win in most case scenarios. So it works decently well. The HUD is still an issue, but that's an issue also with the normal FSR, not just the MFG. But the adaptive frame generation just doesn't work well in my book. So if I go to the adaptive frame generation, yeah, it goes like, it says that it is working in between auto and 3x and so on. And it's just a big mess, as you can see. It doesn't work well. So yeah, guys, it basically messed the experience, but overall, it just works and it's really great. Thank you, the modders. Thank you for sending me the email, by the way. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your comment in the comment section and hope to see you in the next video as well. Cheers.